What is up, everybody? Andy from WagerTalk.com. It's Wimbledon week. Such a great week in the tennis world. And for us, it's an even better wagering week. We're going to bring in the specialists that we use for all of our tennis plays. My good friend, Corbin. Corbin does all of the tennis betting. And since we've joined WagerTalk.com, we have won on every single major. Corbin, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to just jump right into it. So you are a master at all of the majors. You're great at tennis, but boy, when the majors come around, it's time to load up. So we're just coming off of the clay surfaces, and now we're at Wimbledon on a grass surface. So there's so many differences between Wimbledon and some of the other ones, but I want to talk about the surfaces first. So when people are getting into wagering on this tournament, give us a description of what we can expect and the difference between clay and grass and the difference in how the players will attack the surface.
Yeah, so it's almost the complete opposite. Clay is slow, the balls don't bounce as high, the rallies go on for a lot longer, it's a lot slower paced, whereas on grass, it's mainly about who has the bigger serve. There's a lot more aces, the length of points is a lot shorter, and obviously the speeds are a lot higher. There's also a lot of uneven bounces on grass surfaces, and yeah.
We want to this has got to be one of the strangest years for the men's category of Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Normally there's just, lots of guys that you can bet on, and there's just one really, really clear favorite, and we are going to give out a free bet here at the end of this video. So just tell everyone what's going on in this men's division, and if there's anything we can take away of any value from some of these longer shots.
Yeah, so if you didn't already know, there's no Russians in Wimbledon this year, so that wipes out quite a lot of the players, including the world number one. There's no ranking points on offer this year, so that's affected some people's motivation and desire to play. But yeah, so going through the draw, we have Djokovic. He's the main favourite. He's won 3 straight Wimbledons, loves the grass. He's so well-rounded at the surface. And his motivation is he needs major wins. He's trying to break the record, which Nadal obviously just won the French Open, so he needs to try and take advantage of this situation and try and push on. We have Nadal, who is surprisingly to me he's playing very injured. He has a foot injury. He's taking injections to try and numb the pain, which doesn't seem like the best idea. He was unsure if he was even going to play this tournament. He's played no warm-up games. He doesn't have a great record at Wimbledon at all and hasn't played since 2019. It really doesn't suit his style, so I don't expect him to be a threat. We have Beretini, who I probably see as the closest threat to Djokovic. He's last year's runner-up, obviously losing to Djokovic. He has a big serve, but he's not great on return, and that's really what hampers him. He's also coming off an abdominal injury that's kept him out for all of the clay court season, so he's a bit short of match fitness and a bit rusty. And finally, Alcaraz, he's the surging youngster, but he's never really played on grass, and he has a weak serve. It's just not suited to him this tournament.
On the flip side, the women's could be very, very interesting, and I will just say right now, don't bet on Serena Williams to win at Wimbledon. Yeah. That's one piece of advice I can do. Just look up the last time she played, but you'll know we're laughing for a reason. But no, talk to us about the women's, because we had the surprising retire of arguably the best player in the world. But this one's a lot more open, correct?
Yeah, in all honesty, anyone could win this women's side. I'd narrow it down to probably 10 or so people, but it comes down to a lot more on the day who's best, I guess. Obviously, as you mentioned, Barty retired this year. She was clear odds-on favourite to start the year to win Wimbledon. It was her best surface, but obviously her retiring has made Swiatek. She's on a crazy 30-plus game win streak, but she really doesn't suit the grass at all. I don't fancy her here. She's got a weak serve, and she only reached the 4th round last year, so she's not my pick. We have Goff, who's the second favorite. She's well rounded, but she's still only like 18. She's so inexperienced, and she lost to Kerber in the fourth round last year. So again, I don't think she's a particular threat. And then, as you mentioned, Serena Williams, she's gonna take a lot of public money just on name value, but she hasn't played in so long. She lacks the fitness, the movement, the sharpness. The game has just moved on so much since she really was last a threat. The main youngster is this new player called Maya. She's won 13 straight on grass, included against some real top players. She's quite aggressive and has a good movement, but again, she's never gone anywhere at Wimbledon. It's a complete different beast in majors. So yeah, this should really suit the big servers like Pliskova, Halep, etc. If you have a big serve, that will take you quite far at Wimbledon on the women's side. So
Yeah, we're going to get to our free bet here at the end of this video. But yeah, there's a lot of long shots or longer shots on the women's side that have potential. So, Corbin, you've never lost at a major, so we're doing something right. But you have a very particular strategy that works. And I just want to be very honest with people about how we do this. So, most of the bets, I would say pretty much all of them are going to be on in the U.S. are domestic books. That's DraftKings, that's FanDuel, that's BetMGM. For some of the smaller points bets, Bet Rivers. I've been able to bet these on all of them. It's harder on the offshores. We really recommend that if you're going to invest in us, that you make sure you have your domestic books ready to go. And the Wimbledon pack is already up. You can grab that on WagerTalk.com on Andy Lang's profile page. But talk to us because you use parlays. You're very comfortable with laying juice. And we bet hard, often, and early. So just talk to us about the betting strategy. So when people get involved in betting with Wimbledon, what they can expect from our bets coming out.
yeah, so as you mentioned, I like to go big early. It's where you get all the big mismatches. You get the seeds playing the non-seeds, and quite simply, the seeds are just so much better than the weaker players. Particularly on the men's side, you see as the further you go down, the weaker the players' serves get. And obviously, as I mentioned before, the serve is the key attribute on grass. So you get the bigger mismatches. And then, as you said, parlays are really good because you can put some of these favorites that are going to win. You can just put them together and get a decent price and then make money. So, yeah.
The laying juice, some people are a little worried about laying juice. I'll be honest, when I first got into betting tennis, I was until I saw the results. And it's just, you and I do a lot of other sports, UFC, Formula One. Sometimes you just have to be comfortable with laying juice. And sometimes you have to say, hey, that minus 160 sounds like a lot, but it's actually a value. It's a steal
Exactly.
with some of these plays. So just make sure you're comfortable with laying juice, and don't be surprised if we come out with a lot of plays right at the very beginning of the tournament. And that leads to the next thing. You got to be kind of on your toes here about when plays come out, because as soon as the tournament starts, you're going to have parlays that are going from one day to the other. And also you've got people getting eliminated. So what can people expect when plays are going to come out once Wimbledon actually starts?
Yeah, so the whole bracket gets released in a couple of days, at which point, obviously, I'll start working through picking out the mismatches, and then it's all due to the scheduling, what works well together. Normally, I like to have plays going over a parlay over like 1 day or 2 days, so not too long. And then, obviously, as the tournament progresses, you keep getting new matchups when people get knocked out and progress through. So it's constant plays almost every 1 or 2 days as it progresses.
That is Corbin, amazing tennis handicapper, and we talked earlier about that there's some real value on some longer shots on the women's side, which leads us to our free bet that we're going to give out. Wimbledon pack is up on WagerTalk.com. That is going to include every single play once Wimbledon starts. It's only $39. Turned a profit in every single major since we started at WagerTalk. So, Corbin, go ahead and give us your free bet for Wimbledon.
Yep. So as I mentioned, the women's side is very open. So I've gone for Angelique Kerber at plus 3,300. She's just so good on grass. She's consistent. She has a good serve. She has reliable shots. She turns up every match, you know she's going to compete, and she has really good defense, which I think is going to help her here against some of the big serves. Last year, she only lost to Ash Barty, as we mentioned, one of the world's best ever women's players, in the semi final, and in 2018 she won the whole thing against Serena Williams. So yeah, I expect her to at least go far, if not obviously win it for us. So I like the value here.
And once again, if you get great value on someone at 33-1, once they make the semifinals, you're in absolute hedge territory where you can guarantee yourself
Yeah.
some profit. So, great job. It's a great pick. It sounds good to me. I've already got this locked in on a real value on the women's side. So, Corbin, thank you so much. Let's have a great Wimbledon. Let's make it yet another major where we turn a profit. Once again, the Wimbledon pack is up already. You can grab that. We have 2 futures in there. Right now, Kerber is one of them, and we have another one in there as well. Don't forget to grab it. It's at WagerTalk.com under Andy Lang's player profile. Good luck, everyone. And Corbin, let's catch another major, man.